When you think about giving a truly powerful presentation, what comes to mind? A slick TED Talk, maybe? A charismatic CEO on a stage? Well, what if I told you that one of the best guides to speaking with impact wasn't written last year, but 1700 years ago by a Buddhist master? Today, we are unlocking an ancient blueprint that tells us exactly what it takes to not just speak, but to genuinely connect with and maybe even transform your audience.
We all want to be heard, right? I mean, whether you're in a meeting at work, in a classroom, or just having a deep conversation with a friend, the real goal is to get your point across effectively. But how do we go beyond just saying the words and actually speak with that clarity, that impact, that real substance? Well, it turns out there's a blueprint for this, and it comes from a pretty unexpected source, the Yogacara Bhumi Shastra. It's a guide for master speakers that's been around for about 1700 years, and it lays out a whole system for mastering the art of discourse. So let's dive in and break down what it has to say.
Okay, first things first, the foundation. Before you even think about how you're going to say something, you have to be rock solid on what you're saying. The text is super clear on this. Get the substance right, or everything else you do just doesn't matter.
The scripture breaks this down into two core pillars. First, you have the text, the when. Think of this as the vessel, the words you choose, the way you structure your sentences, the very form of your message. Then you've got the meaning, the ye. This is the good stuff inside the vessel, the core concept, the profound principle, the whole point of what you're trying to say. See, a beautiful vessel with nothing in it is totally useless, and a brilliant idea without a clear vessel can't be shared. You absolutely need both working together.
And get this, the text gets incredibly specific about what makes that vessel a good one. It's not just about using proper grammar. It says your speech should be melodious, actually pleasing to listen to. It has to be clear, with well-crafted sentences. It should be easy to understand, and finally, compelling, so people actually want to listen. The goal here isn't just to sound nice. It's about crafting your message so the meaning lands perfectly, with zero static.
And that other pillar, the meaning, is just as deep. The text says a speaker has to understand the listener's entire journey. Like, where are they starting from? What's the ultimate benefit for them if they really hear you? So a master communicator doesn't just know their topic. They have this profound grasp of both the vehicle for their message and its final destination. So you've got your substance locked down. Now, how do you actually deliver it? Well, the blueprint gives us this amazing 5-step framework for structuring pretty much any message you want to deliver. Honestly, this is basically a 1700-year-old guide to giving a killer presentation. Step 1, state your topic. Simple enough. Step 2, explain its origin. Give the context, the why. 3, unpack that deeper meaning. 4, and I love this part, resolve difficulties. You literally anticipate your audience's questions, their doubts, and you address them up front. And finally, 5, establish the sequence, laying it all out in a logical flow. It's just a perfect roadmap. So we've covered the what and the how, but this blueprint argues that maybe the most important element of all is the who. It's not enough to have a great message and a great structure. The speaker themselves has to cultivate some very specific inner qualities. The text actually lists 10 qualities of a master speaker. We don't have time to go through all 10 right now, but let's just look at a few that I think really reveal what this ancient wisdom values most. And right at the very top, quality number 1, it brings us full circle. A master speaker has to be an expert in both the subject itself, the Dharma, and its deeper meaning. We're not talking about surface-level knowledge here. This is about a deep, skillful, almost intuitive understanding. You have to truly own your material inside and out. The list also paints a picture of a really powerful presence. A master can elaborate on a topic endlessly. They're fearless in front of any crowd, and of course, they're eloquent. But they also possess a dignified deportment, which means their body language, their calm, their very presence adds to the message instead of distracting from it. Then you get to the 6th quality, which is all about integrity. The text says it perfectly. Not taking hearing alone as the final goal, but practicing just as one has preached. In other words, you have to walk the talk. A master's life is a reflection of their message, and that's what gives their words that unshakable authenticity. And the 10th quality is forbearance. This is all about resilience and humility. A true master doesn't get defensive when they're challenged or even insulted. They don't let their ego run the show. They can stay composed because for them, the message is way more important than their own pride. Now that is real strength. Okay, so we've got the substance, we've got the structure, and we've got the speaker. But the puzzle isn't quite complete. there's one final, crucial piece: the audience. The blueprint is very clear that a master communicator has to adapt their message because one size never, ever fits all.
Look at this. The text actually identifies different types of audiences and suggests a different approach for each one. For regular folks, you might focus on practical ethics. For monastics, you go deeper into training. For those who are already faithful, you inspire them. But check out the one for the malevolent or hostile audience. The goal isn't to convert them. It's just to guide them toward a neutral mind. It shows that deep empathy and audience awareness are absolutely non-negotiable skills.
So when you put all of these pieces together, you start to see this fascinating contrast with our modern idea of a good speaker. Today, we tend to value charisma, a bit of humor, maybe some persuasive rhetoric. But this ancient blueprint, it prioritizes something different: deep knowledge, a calm and dignified presence, and the inner strength of forbearance. It's really less about performance and much more about embodiment. And that really is the heart of it all. This ancient guide shows us that true mastery in communication isn't about learning a few speaking hacks or techniques. It's a holistic path. It's about cultivating your inner character, deepening your wisdom, and holding a genuine, profound respect for both your message and the people you're sharing it with.
So, that leaves us with a final question to think about. In our modern world, with its constant flood of information, hot takes, and noise, what does this ancient blueprint for meaningful communication really mean for us today? What might change if we all chose to prioritize a little more substance, a little more integrity, and a lot more genuine connection in the way we communicate with each other? That's definitely something worth considering.